Let's get right into the stories we have for today. On ChannelOneNews.com, we have, let me just read. So it's we have here, the ambulance trial, Court of Appeal acquits and discharges Forson and Richard Jakpa. Now, this story is actually carried by almost all the papers. The Daily Graphic says, Forson Jakpa freed. AG to appeal. We also have on the Informer, AG disagrees with court, vows to appeal against perverse decision. Wow, interesting. The Ghanaian publisher says AG vows to fight Jakpa and Forson acquittal. This one says, the Herald says, bruised AG goes on ego trip after defeat, but gets caution from GBA and others. So let me just start with I'll just read a little portion of the Channel One news story. And it says here, the Court of Appeal has acquitted and discharged the minority leader, Dr. Cassiel Forson, in the ongoing ambulance trial. Now, businessman Richard Jakpa has also been acquitted and discharged by the court. Now, this comes after an order was made by the trial court for Dr. Forson to open his defense in the ongoing ambulance case, which was set aside by the Court of Appeal. Now, Forson's submission of no case has been upheld. The High Court in Accra on June 6th dismissed the application by the minority leader, Cassiel Forson, for mistrial and to undertake an inquiry into the conduct of the Attorney General in the ongoing ambulance case. Now, according to the trial judge, the minority leader had not shown any statute provisions that warrant a mistrial in this case, nor to inquire into the affairs of the Attorney General. Now, Dr. Forson on Monday, June 3rd, filed a supplementary affidavit in support of the motion on notice of an order of mistrial, injunction, and or stay of proceedings in the ongoing ambulance case against him and two others. Now, the lawyers for the Ejumako Inyan Isiam legislator cited a leaked tape between the Attorney General, Godfrey Yeboah-Dame, and the third accused, Richard Jakpa, in which the former allegedly attempted to coach the third accused to implicate Dr. Forson in the ongoing trial for the application. Now, Forson's legal team in the affidavit argues that the Attorney General misconducted himself and called for the prosecution to be declared a mistrial. Let me give you this last quote here. It has become necessary to file this affidavit in order to bring to the attention of the court and the interest of justice certain pertinent material and relevant matters that have a bearing on the fair and just determination of the current application. That I say that I have since filing the instant application and the opportunity of listening to a recording widely circulating in the media depicting the voices of the Attorney General and A3 fervently discussing the evidence the Attorney General would prefer, and the said A3 to adduce at the trial and the hearing of the instant application, my counsel will seek leave of the court to have the said audio recording played in open court. And then the story goes on there. At the end of the day, the Court of Appeal threw out the case. Okay, let me start with Najee.
Now, David, this morning I'm surprised that we have not seen in the news that the Attorney General has tendered in his resignation.
Yes?
I'm saying that I'm surprised that I haven't seen his resignation.
Ah, okay. You're expecting him to resign?
Of course. Weren't you expecting same? Now, if you go to court, okay, I'll tell you why he should have by now.
Okay.
If you go to court saying that you have very cogent evidence to convict a person, right? Now, you tend to want support from an accused person in order to convict another. Who practices law like that. But that aside, the NDC would say that we are grateful to God that forever he remains a just God. To continue, let's put this matter in some context. What is the role of Honorable Forson? He is currently the minority leader in Parliament. He is also a ranking member of the Finance Committee in Parliament. Now, this case cannot be discussed independently of the state of our economy. To say that Dr. Forson has been at the forefront giving constructive criticisms to government and the finance ministry on how they were managing the finances of the country. Okay. And so the attempt by the Attorney General to convict an innocent man, as we even heard in the tape, it is one, like you and I heard in the tape, that to render his seat vacant, right? So that we are able to take him off Parliament to cower him from not criticizing government's reckless expenditure. Let's contextualize this. Now, know also that, you see, this criticisms of Honorable Forson has now become very unbearable for a team of people who says, we have the men to manage the economy. And so if per the way the economy was being run, it happens that you don't even have the boys to manage the economy, and you are being coached on how to manage the economy, you would then turn to, as it were, say, I want to convict the coach. And of course, an innocent coach for that matter. But you see, what is the position of the law? The position of the law remains that when the state arraigns an accused person before court, the state has the responsibility to adduce evidence to support whatever they are saying that I am accusing you of. Now, by the time the state has called its witnesses, they actually had no case. In other words, Honorable Forson says that of all the witnesses that we have heard, I have no case to answer. And so filed a submission of no case, which at the trial judge level says that I have dismissed, you still have a case to answer. But in the conviction of Honorable Forson, knowing that I have done no wrong, and of course he has done no wrong. He has done no wrong because, of course, which deputy minister goes into a contract without the approval of the substantive minister? And so even if there is anybody to be persecuted, even if there is any case to be answered, it should not be Honorable Forson. If there is a case, which of course there is not. That's why I tell you that it is just an attempt. And now the AG goes so unethical, right, to actually want to win an accused person to his side and tell him that you are not the target. And so, if you will play by my rules, you will be set free. Jesus Christ, this is an ethical legal practice. And then, worst of all, David, it is coming from no less a person than the leader of the Ghana Bar Association. And so, the AG is not a mere lawyer, right? He is the embodiment, the leadership, right, of Ghana's law. Now, beyond being an attorney general, he doubles as the Minister of Justice. David, you and I, what is our understanding of the word a Minister of Justice? And so to want to say that, help me to convict an innocent man, you are telling an accused person that, help me to convict an innocent man, so that he would vacate his seat, so that his re-election will be held in his constituency. And then, even if we go into the constituency, we are not even going to campaign on issues. We have the money and we will buy the votes. This is the highest form of immorality. It is even unconscionable for an attorney general, right, to politically witch hunt. What I'm saying is that you are not a mere lawyer. And by the time you are occupying the position of a Minister of Justice, you are not supposed to be behaving like a party foot soldier, for a lack of a better expression. But then you see, even in the face of caution, even in the face of evidence that the AG was being unethical in his dealings with the accused persons and the court, he wanted to defy all reason and unreasonably still pursue the case. And after the ruling, we heard him say that of course we would appeal. Oh, then maybe the AG is in for further embarrassment. If the AG will listen to wisdom this morning, I think the case should rest where it is. Because the video that we all heard, David, actually implicates the Attorney General, unless you tell me that your channel did not have access to that audio.
Which of the ones are you talking about?
His phone conversation with Mr. Jakpa, where he tells Mr. Jakpa that, you see, so in this case, you have dragged Mr. Jakpa to court saying that you have committed a crime. Then you, per your practice, in your own wisdom, you think that because you must win the case at all costs, you want to get the accused person who you have dragged to court to commit further crime. Now, where is the further crime? The AG tells Mr. Jakpa that go and get fake medical records. Why will an Attorney General and a Minister of Justice push an accused person to go and falsify documents when he knows, unless he's forgotten, that falsification of documents is a crime?
Yeah.
He goes on to say that, you know, so after the falsification, come and lie to the judge. Why would you push him to commit another crime, lying to the courts and lying to a public officer? And so the person that you have brought to court accused, you still want to, as it were, get the person to commit further crime. If we have an Attorney General and a Minister of Justice who gets people to commit crime in order to convict innocent people, that is a Minister of Injustice and not a Minister of Justice.
Okay, please wrap it up for me.
I'm wrapping up. So you see, of all the breaches of the practice that the Attorney General has engaged in, I am shocked that he has not been disciplined till today. When he knows that you are not supposed to engage the accused person in any way without his legal representation, then you go on to meet him. If I were the Attorney General, when I met Mr. Jakpa in the supposed Supreme Court judge's house, I wouldn't even greet him. But you go on to engage him. You go on to further call him. You go on to further tell him to go on and commit crime. And so today we are where we are.
Thank you.
The court has given justice. Justice has been said. The next move to appeal this decision would lead to a further embarrassment of the Attorney General.
All right, thank you. Tabitha.
Yes, this morning I'm happy that the NDC has suddenly had a change of mind concerning the justice system of this country. We are all aware that whilst this case was still being heard, the position the NDC took, they were of the view that the judges were for the party, or they would rule to favor the interest of the New Patriotic Party. But this morning, the way my sister is talking about justice being served and that the Attorney General shouldn't even consider to appeal the case again and all those things, it's interesting to hear. Because when we were at the very beginning of this case, we saw their position. We saw how their communication officer, the National Communication Officer, bastardized not only individuals, but also the Ghana Bar Association, reducing them to a mere chop bar. Interesting times. I always say this. You see, the NDC and I don't know how to describe them, but the hypocrisy they show in this country at times leaves much to be desired, honestly. This morning you are happy that the justice system has served your interest. Meanwhile, if you look at the background of the story, this is a man who caused financial loss to the state. This is a man who decided to disregard...
Who are you referring to?
I'm referring to Forson.
Okay.
he decided to
You said
disregard.
he caused financial loss to the state.
Established by which
Okay.
court?
No, it's okay. Let's I
You
want
know,
to hear her.
He was accused of causing financial loss to the state.
Okay.
And we all know how it happened. The sector minister then, the finance minister then, Sef Tekpe, said he did it at his blind side.
Did he?
That is what Sef Tekpe said.
No, I thought September rather said that he had his authorization to do that.
No.
To sign off on his authorization.
No, that is not what I had.
David, don't allow Tanita to distort
I thought they said
the facts
that
on such
please,
a
please,
noble
please,
platform.
hold yourself.
No,
hold
Sector
yourself.
never
You
said
can't
no.
say no.
Let her
You
say-
can't
let her-
interject.
Let her
All the
respond.
lies you were
I'm
saying
moderating.
here,
I'm
I decided
moderating.
to keep quiet.
Allow
I don't know
me
why
to
you people
moderate.
Tekpe
take
never
this,
said anything.
Allow
all
me
the
to
time.
moderate.
That Honorable
Allow me.
Atu Forson
allow
did
me
that on his
to
blind
moderate.
side. Allow
allow
her
me
to
to
retract
moderate. Allow
that.
me to moderate. Please go ahead.
Yes. And we know after the whole transaction occurred and they brought the vans, the supposed ambulance vans to the country, the then sector minister, health minister, said they were not fit for purpose. Why is it that after you people brought the vans into the country, somewhere 2014, you couldn't make good use of the vans? You couldn't make good use of it because it couldn't serve the purpose for which it was imported. And why is it that the third accused decided to settle the case out of court? If they thought they were not in the wrong, why would they opt to settle the case out of court?
No, but settling the case out of court is a choice. It's
Yes.
a way of going. You
but
can
to
choose
some
not to go to
extent-
court
To some extent,
and say that I have 2
to
million,
some
2 million euros.
extent,
I want to give
it
it back.
means that you are admitting what? Guilt.
No,
of
not
wrongdoing.
necessarily.
That's why I said to some extent. Honestly, because the court has not established that he has actually caused financial loss to the state, I have to be careful with the way I say.
Can I read this for you? Can I read it? Let me just read this quickly for you to give you a bit more context before you continue. So, story on citynewsroom.com, October 19th, 2023. Tekpe testifies in ambulance case, absolves Atu Forson from blame. I'll read the first paragraph. Former Finance Minister Tekpe has told an economic and financial court in Accra that he directed the then Deputy Dr. Cassiel Atu Forson to write to the Bank of Ghana requesting for letters of credit to be set up in favor of Big C General Trading Limited of Dubai for the supply of 30 ambulances for Ghana.
Okay.
So this is just to correct what you said earlier.
Granted. But you see, it still doesn't mean that the ambulances that they procured serve the purpose for which they intended it to serve. Okay? And we...
So why not hunt Tekpe down? Why not drag Tekpe to court? Since he's the one who ultimately gave the direction for that to be, for the...
I can't talk for the Attorney General and his decision.
Okay.
But what I can tell you for a fact is that they will be contesting it again. They will be appealing the Supreme Court in the not too far future.
Okay.
You see, at times, it's fine. If you go to court and the court in its own wisdom decides that let's let this give a judgment, you need to take it in good faith and probably go and do your homework well and contest it.
Okay.
So I'm happy. I'm happy that at the end of the day, they have settled this, but then I know our people will not rest. They are going to contest the decision of the Supreme Court, the High Court. And another thing,
The appeal
I
court.
just want to, the appeal court, sorry.
Yes.
Another thing is that I want to appeal, okay, to my opponents that when something doesn't go your way, don't take that position of bastardizing the same place that we will all go to, provided we are having problems. We all go to for redress. That's the only place we can go for redress.
Okay.
And so if we succeed in bastardizing, if we succeed in running it down, how does it benefit us?
All right.
Because we are going into an election.
It's a good point.
We are going into an election. And so if you say those judges are going to handle cases that will only benefit or inure to the benefit of the NPP, then what are you telling the people of Ghana? You are preparing them towards probably chaos. Because the truth is that, per the data we have gathered, we know the NPP will be breaking the 8.
Okay.
And there is nothing anybody can do about it. You understand? Okay. And so let's have confidence in our judicial system. Let's not run them down just because we think they are not favoring us in one or two things that they have done. And I want to use this opportunity to ask that the AG, they put their case together properly so that when we go to the Supreme Court, we get the issues addressed in the favor of the nation. Okay,
all right. Let me just quickly read this before we take a quick break. I have here, so this is a story written by the Herald. It's, and I just want to read an aspect of that article. The Ghana Bar Association has also been taken aback by the reaction of the Attorney General towards the appeals court after the ruling of the controversial ambulance case. Also speaking on Joy FM's top story, the public relations officer of the GBA indicated that the Justice Minister's choice of words was unwarranted. Xavier Kuje asked that assuming the decisions were made in his favor, would he be using such words? Okay, according to him, the Attorney General is the leader of the bar and we shouldn't expect him to be using such words. If you say you disagree with the verdict of the court and you say you will take steps, I think that's what everybody does. But an official leader using such words, we take an exception to it, he added on Monday. And I will just pause there. Naturally, I wanted to make some comments on this one, so let's go right to it.
And so, David, this morning, I think that Sabita has the most difficult job in the world.
Why?
Most difficult job in the world.
Why?
And especially when, of course, we'll pardon her because she may not have legal appreciation, and it happens to everybody, and so it makes her job difficult, and so we'll pardon her. But a few quick things. Did I hear her say that the NDC are hypocrites? Did I just hear her say that? Let me show her why they are hypocrites. Now, an Attorney General says that, in even her own words, that Honorable Forson has caused financial loss to the state. So I asked her, which court established that or upheld that? And now she's back to say that, well, and the court hasn't said that, so I have to be careful. Careful meaning what? The court hasn't said that. Don't say that. So you retract. That is what she's supposed to be doing this morning. But here is the hypocrisy, and I'll show you and I'll show her too. The Attorney General wants to pursue people who have caused financial loss to the state. Has he seen the National Cathedral? Has he seen it? Doesn't that amount to causing financial loss to the state?
Thank you.
Tell me, has he just seen the case of the spare parts scandal? Has the Attorney General seen? If he hasn't seen, he should let me know. Has he even seen that or heard that the Bank of Ghana illegally printed 70 billion cedis for reckless spending? Has the Attorney General seen that? If the Attorney General's genuine interest is state interest and not political witch hunting, and not to cause somebody to lose a seat so that a by-election would be held as he but you know, nothing convicts a man faster than his word. So his own words has convicted him. Not even a court to convict him. His own words in the tape has convicted him. So I will not sit here to convict him. If he really has the interest at heart to pursue people who have caused financial loss to the state, the first person he should be dragging are the economic managers who have actually recklessly run down our economy. They have caused financial loss to the state. Now, did I also hear her say that the NPP will break the 8? Trust me and trust Ghanaians. The NPP is about to break into 8 and not break any 8. My final point before we take our next topic is that he says she said when you asked her that why would the Attorney General not pursue Mr. Setekpe and would rather pursue Honorable Forson, her answer was that, well, I don't know why I can't speak for the Attorney General. Is it a matter of speaking for the Attorney General, or is the matter of actually dragging to court who has committed the crime? So if we have established here that per what you read, Mr. Forson has not committed any crime, even as here, non-lawyers said that per the report you read, he hasn't committed any crime. No. The court has said that he is a free man today. So in the wisdom of the NPP, that's why I keep saying that they think that they are more Ghanaian than anybody. In their wisdom, they would have to go and pursue innocent people. And let me speak to Ghanaians. See, a vote for the NPP is a vote that will put you and I in similar fate as Dr. Forson. Because the NPP would not uphold the rule of law. They would want to satisfy political interest and come after political opponents even when they are innocent. Okay. It's okay to go after political opponents, but then you should go into the case with very cogent evidence. You don't have cogent evidence. You are begging an accused to give you evidence. And evidence that is not true, right? But to falsify evidence for you to drag somebody into court. Minister of Injustice.
Right. Let's make progress.
Can I make a quick...
You can make a quick...
Yes. You know, as I indicated earlier, today they are happy with the courts. And I'm happy for them. Indeed. Because those appeal court judges were all appointed by the president. And so if today they have given you a verdict that makes you happy, I'm happy for you.
But appeal court judges, regardless of who they are,
yes, you know, there was a time that the NDC were of the view that all the judges that the president appointed are going to, all those judges are going to play to his dictates, right? But it has turned out not to be so.
Okay.
So if the court thinks that the evidence that was laid before them is not enough to incriminate him, that is fine, it's good. Okay. But one thing I can assure Ghanaians is that we will not let this slip. We are going to appeal. And if we are able to get more evidence that can pin him down, good. I think that we will do that.
Okay.
There is nothing wrong with going to court and the court thinking that your evidence is not good enough to get somebody.
Yeah, but this trial has been going on for a while.
I know.
Right? It's been going for a while.
I think somewhere much. I think it started somewhere much.
No, it was last year. It was last year. It started last year. So yes, it's been going. I mean, even when Setepe appeared in court to answer questions, that was on the 19th of August or 19th of October last year.
Good.
Do you see? Good. So it's been going on for a while.
It doesn't really matter. You know, there is nothing like expiry to any crime that you commit.
Where is the crime
again? You see, you can't.
No, I'm just trying to say, you telling me that they have sat on the case for a long time and that they should have enough facts.
Why is the crime?
Saying that it doesn't really matter.
Tabitha.
It doesn't really matter.
Where is the crime? To say that crime doesn't expire, where is the crime?
Tabitha, you can't.
The man is working a free man. You say he's committed a crime.
Stop.
Tabitha,
you can't say
no
expiry to crime. Yes, but in this case, there is no crime.
Not to say that I am referring it to Forson.
But to who?
Okay, fair enough.
You can't tell me that I cannot make a general statement. You can't tell me that.
No, but
you can't tell me that.
No, but you know that you are proving
I am making a general statement
till proven guilty.
Yes,
so
but the Attorney General is of the view.
Anyone of a crime until it's been proven so.
But the Attorney General is of the view that
a crime has been committed.
Yes.
And therefore he's prosecuting.
And so
fair enough.
That is why he intends to go to the Supreme Court.
No problem.
So it means that
we'll wait for that.
Yes.
Yes, okay. No problem. Let's make progress.